The idea of this podcast is quite simple. In fact, we want to share some thoughts about the tree of life. This is used and used right now, even now, in Jewish Kabbalah, in Christian Kabbalah, and of course in Hermetic Kabbalah. But the point is, can we say something about that at the strictly mathematical level? So we know that we have a graph, which is not a poset. It has 11 nodes, and sometimes only 10, and of course 22 relations between those vertices. There is a starting point at the bottom with only one path. Then we have a complex, which is in fact a tetrahedron, which makes the unique relation between Malshut and Tiferet, Nekash, Hod, and Jesod. On the other side, we can see also another tetrahedron above, which is also important, but we can realize that we have 3 columns, only 3, but we have many levels, not only 3, in fact 3 that are clear, another one at the top, another one as an intermediate, and of course 2 at the bottom. So we have relations which seem to be symmetrical, but in reality there is a symmetry, but not in 2 dimensions, but in 3. So it's a little bit more complex than a simple diagram, but we can use this, of course, to put some letters on the edges, and of course some words on the vertices. But the idea is that the structure is not at all a classical tree. So we use this as a tree, but we can see that it is in fact a network. So this network is in fact the combination and the concatenation of either network, and we can see that it's more or less like a deep network. So if we use this to see what is the path inside the network, we will have some revelations, but if you try to find this without any explanation, maybe it's too difficult. So we have, of course, interpretations, but our point right now is to imagine that, for example, you have an Eulerian path. So you can use all the nodes, and you can go through of them in an easy way. More or less is the easiest way to do it, but of course there is a symmetry, and you can do it with its dual. So imagine that we have something like a deep neural network, but only at its simplest expression, and we have already some complexity. And in this complexity, you can imagine that you can put a code. So they used this to put a code about the alphabet and also some notion of astronomy. But the point is that this network can be deeper, and we can have new interpretation quite different from the traditional. And with that, we can see that, in fact, we can put all those 4 words in something which has 4 levels. But we can use this in a bigger network and say that, in fact, it's only the trace of a little but essential network in a bigger one, which has a very simple pattern.